The main theme of today's solos episode is the fact that publishing frequency or publishing velocity, however you want to call it, matters. Before we jump into today's episode, I'd like to give a quick shout out to the sponsor for this episode, Ahrefs. Ahrefs provides you with an all-in-one SEO toolset that does everything from rank tracking to backlink analysis, keyword research, and technical audits. The best part, you can now use Ahrefs Webmaster Tools for free to identify and prioritize optimization opportunities for your website, see all the keywords that your web pages are ranking for, take a close look at the websites that link back to and refer you in their content, and analyze other websites to find out what drives their rankings. Visit ahrefs.com/AWT and sign up for free. And now, back to today's episode. Hello everyone, this is George Chasiotis, Managing Director at Minuttia and the host of the SaaS SEO Show. I'm very excited for this one. This is Solos number 3, and today we are going to discuss and talk about a case study. We will not be able to reveal the name of the company, our client, but we will be very detailed when it comes to what we did, how we did it, and give an emphasis. I guess the main theme of today's Solos episode is the fact that publishing frequency or publishing velocity, however you want to call it, matters, okay? And I know that this is a topic where many like content marketers and SEO professionals can argue, and everyone has their own opinions, and it's a topic of like debate actually. So what you are about to hear is just our way of perceiving things and like understanding things, and by no means it means that like what we say will work for you and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm just putting this out there as a disclaimer. Let's get started. Let's get to the interesting things now. So first of all, the time frame that we are looking here for this case study is October 24th, 2022 to January 21st, 2023. Okay, these dates represent the first and the dates were when the first and last pieces of content based on the project's scope were published. Okay, just to give you a summary, so we are talking about a 3-month period, essentially, more or less, okay? But when it comes to the summary of this project, this like case study, within 3 months, approximately, we helped a video conferencing software create and publish 50 pieces of content to increase their website's organic visibility and traffic for non-branded terms, obviously, okay? Keep in mind that there was no active promotion, for example, link building or, social media sharing or anything like that for the pieces we created and published. So essentially, we are talking about great content that gets published and starts working by itself. Okay, now Minuttia in this project, in this case study, handled keyword validation. We were given the keywords by our great client. We validated them and basically said that, this is indeed the best keyword to go after, or in this case, we may want to rethink our approach, and it seems that this is not the best keyword to go after, and we may have to go with this keyword instead, okay? So we handled keyword validation, content briefing, end-to-end content creation, graphic design, and updating the content to the website's CMS, okay? Now, this is a summary, sort of an overview. What about the results? When it comes to the results, if you do the math, we are talking about a time period of approximately 3 months, and we are talking about 50 pieces of content. Okay, so essentially, we are talking about 16.6 published pieces of content per month for each of the 3 months of the engagement. Okay, and once again, the time frame is October 24th, 2022 to January 21st, 2023. The dates when the first piece of content went live and the last piece of content went live. This is the first point. The second point, when it comes to results, we witnessed, and this is from Ahrefs, so take this with a pinch of salt, obviously, but and also let me just say that, which is very important, that the above results are not part of a published kind of finalized case study yet, as the outcome of our work has yet to be shown in full. We see increase in the number of impressions and organic clicks that the website receives, specifically the blog of the website, day after day. So like what we are about to share is what we have witnessed so far. So when it comes to the total number of organic keywords the blog is ranking for, we are talking about an increase of more than 469%. Okay, and this is massive. And the time frame here that we are looking in comparison, of course, is October 25th, 2022 to March 26th, 2023. Okay, and once again, the source that we used here is Ahrefs. When it comes to the total number of organic impressions to the blog for the month prior and after the engagement started and ended respectively, and you can see more results, more like details about that in the post I made on LinkedIn regarding that case study. We are talking about an increase of more than 209%. Okay, to be more precise, 209.46%. And this is, once again, the total number of organic impressions. And the reason why we kind of break down results like that is because, first of all, we mentioned the number of pieces, and this is important because this is the input. And then we started, discussing the output, the kind of the outcome of our work. Okay, we put in like 16.6 pieces of content per month. What's, how is that connected to a meaningful outcome for the website's performance? And then we discussed the fact that, the first is the number of keywords that the blog is ranking for, because in order for clicks or leads or even customers or whatever to be created, there have to be keywords that we get visibility for, right? And ideally, in most cases, we want to get visibility for the target keyword in, high enough positions to get us impressions, which is the next one, right? This is why then we discussed impressions. And now we are going to also discuss the number of organic clicks. And when it comes to the number of organic clicks, once again, the data source for this metric is Google Search Console. As with the number of organic impressions, I explained that when it comes to the number of organic keywords, our source was Ahrefs, right? When it comes to the total number of organic clicks to the blog for, once again, the month prior and after the engagement started and ended respectively, we are looking at an increase of 334.38%. Okay, so it's massive, right? It's astonishing. But think of the input in this case, like what you have to do in order to achieve these results. And by the way, let me just say for the record that these results don't mean anything, because if this doesn't lead to a meaningful business outcome, like, generating like leads and customers and so on and so forth. And of course, this also depends on like what kind of life cycle stage the content is created for, and what kind of search intent the content is trying to serve, and so on and so forth. But I would say that these results are astonishing. And of course, we care about the fact that there has to be like a dollar sign, let's say, assigned behind these results, in order for them to be meaningful. In other words, ROI, right? But to get there, there is a chain, let's say, to get from like publishing something to acquiring a customer, right? Because as I mentioned, like first you need to think about inputs. In our case, the input is the amazing work that the team at Minuttia did, and the fact that we were able to publish, let's say 16 pieces of content on average per month in these 3 months of the project. And then we mentioned the fact that there have to be some keywords, right? That these content pieces rank for. And these keywords will bring impressions, eyeballs, actually, seeing the result on the search engine results pages, the SERPs. And after the impressions, hopefully there will be some clicks, right? And only after the clicks, there will be leads or free trials, or whatever the product offering may be. And after that, there will be customers acquired, right? But these results are impressive, and I think that an important lesson here, even though we will discuss learnings, but an important lesson is the fact that if you want to get results like this, you have to go beyond maybe what you're doing right now, okay? And of course, I'm not saying this lightly. We've tested and we had similar results with many of our clients, and time again, even though once again, this is just our opinion, our way of perceiving things and doing things, right? But time and time again, we have seen that publishing more frequently, and of course, great content. I'm not talking about, generative content or anything like that. I'm talking about great content that can demonstrate, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, and so on and so forth, can really get you in a great position when it comes to your, organic growth trajectory. Okay. Now, obviously, every experience, there were some learnings from this experience, and I really hope that at some point we will be able to make this a case study and be more detailed with everything that we did. But when it comes to some learnings from this experience, the first one, which as I mentioned from the beginning, is going to be the main theme of this episode, is the fact that publishing velocity matters, okay? And once again, this is just like our opinion and how we perceive things, and our experiences have taught us at this point that publishing more, and not just for the sake of it, but once again, great content, right, can really have a very positive impact faster, okay? Now, one thing that I would like to share as well as the second learning from this experience is the fact that the CMS your company is using can affect the efficiency of your team or your partners. In our case, as we were a service provider, a partner for our client, right? So make sure, and I think that, just to put this in perspective, let's say that right now you're doing, I don't know, let's say that you're doing 8 pieces of content per month, net new, okay? And you want to double that. You want to get to 16 pieces of content per month. That's great. That's a great goal to have. But before you do that, please make sure that there are no roadblocks or issues or obstacles created by your CMS, the CMS that you're using, okay? Because the CMS is, let's say, the last part of the process, publishing the piece of content, right? And there are so many other ones before that, but it's an important one, and it can be very tedious at times. And overall, I would say you have to ensure that there are no technical issues, and that publishing will be fast, okay? Because we are talking about publishing velocity, which is tightly connected to like how fast we are and how efficient in terms of time. So make sure that your CMS is not holding you back in terms of your time efficiency. Okay. Now, this is not to say that you have to choose a specific CMS as opposed to like choosing another CMS or anything like that. Choose whatever CMS you want. Just make sure, especially if you want to scale things up and move faster, increase your publishing velocity, that make sure that your CMS is not going to hold you back, okay? The third point that I would like to make is the fact that, and this is a learning that we got from this experience, it's important to streamline your process and cross-company communications before scaling things up, before, getting ready to move faster, okay? It's something that we share with our clients and prospects very often when they come to us with the need of, we want to publish more content and we want to scale things up and we want to move faster. That's great. What you need to keep in mind is the fact that you can scale things up and move faster if you have an already a proven way of communicating, of working, either like internally or externally with service providers like Minuttia or other marketing agencies and so on and so forth. Okay, so you scale things up on the basis of something that's already working. You can't scale things up when you have a broken process or when things are okay-ish but not perfect, okay? And sorry about that. I use the word perfect, and we don't really believe in perfection. We believe in improvement. But the point is that you scale things up when things are working great. And just to put this in, once again, in perspective, and like I will use the example from the previous point. Let's say that you are at 8 pieces of content per month, right? And you want to double that. You want to get to 16 pieces of content per month. In order to do that, make sure that you feel absolutely comfortable and everything, runs smoothly when it comes to publishing these 8 pieces of content per month. Because if you have delays, if things with your current agency doesn't work as you would wish they would work, or if you have communication issues or quality issues or like design issues or anything like that, then I would suggest that you don't scale things up and that you try to fix your like processes and workflows and establish a very good foundation before you scale things up, okay? The fourth point that you need to keep in mind if you're doing a sprint or like the one we described and the case study that we are sharing with you today, or if you are if you want to scale things up in general and like increase the number of pieces of content that you publish on a monthly basis, do not do migrations or any other similar activities with technical risk while working on a project like this, or while trying to scale things up and move faster, okay? I would say that it's better to check in with the rest of your team, the rest of the company. Are we planning to do migration or anything like that? Is there anything that I should be aware of? Are we going to make any like important changes moving forward? Because this can have a negative impact in your project, in your sprint, in your efforts in general, okay? So, and I'm not saying that this may not happen, because especially if we are not talking about a project and we are talking about the fact that, no, we're just like increasing the number of pieces of content. We are taking it from 8 to 16, and it's not for just 3 months. So it may happen, right? Things may change, but make sure that even if things change, the things that will change will not be things like a migration from one CMS to another CMS, from one domain to another domain, from a subdomain, if we are talking about the blog, to, you know, a subfolder, you know, from, let's say, blog.example.com dot, not dot, but sorry, from this, yeah, to example.com slash, you know, blog. Make sure that there are no, like, there's nothing in the horizon, let's say, at least for the foreseeable future, before you make the decision to move forward with scaling things up, okay, and increasing your publishing velocity. And the last thing I would like to say, especially, and this is, you will allow me to kind of share this as an advice, let's say, mainly to earlier stage companies in early stages. Try to leave your opinion outside of the content editing process and focus on, you know, the scope and the ultimate goal, okay? The ultimate goal is to increase the publishing velocity, and by increasing the input, you know that the outputs may look better for you in the future, okay? So one of the things that can kind of be a roadblock in this whole process is having several rounds of revision during the, you know, during the process, and adding a lot of opinion inside the feedback that you have for every single piece of content. And I can tell you from experience, okay, I will speak from experience, that in the beginning, no one cares. No one pays attention. If we are talking about a company that's bigger, that's like a pre-IPO, or even like public SaaS company, or a big company in general, regardless of whether, you know, it's public or not, then yeah, you have attention and you have to be more careful. Still, you have to like make some compromises, let's say, when it comes to your opinions. But once again, I would focus on the scope behind and the goal behind this action of increasing your publishing velocity, okay? And essentially, the goal is what we call at Minuttia like accelerating things and moving faster, right? So if your goal is to achieve organic growth acceleration, then I would say, and once again, take this as an advice, especially if you're working at an early stage company, that you should leave your opinion outside and try to focus on the ultimate goal, okay? And this is not to say that you should make compromises when it comes to the quality of the content, but we all know that quality is subjective, right? I mean, I perceive quality differently from any other person, you know, even from like my team and like our company and my friends and like even family and so on and so forth, right? So try to leave this outside, focus on what matters, and keep in mind that you can always, you know, publish it, since the goal is to increase the input, increase publishing velocity. You can publish it and go back later after, you know, it has gotten some organic visibility and started performing, and make some tweaks, right? Maybe add in-post prompts for people to, when the intent is there, right, to continue their journey on your website, or to fix some issues that you know what, like this is opinion, where the comma will go in this sentence. It's just my and your opinion, okay? So you can consider like tweaking these things and like working on these things after you have published something, okay? That's all. I hope that you find this to be insightful. We will be sharing more learnings along the way from our clients and from, you know, our own endeavors and efforts at Minuttia, because everything in content marketing and SEO and every other field for that matter is, you know, like a learning process, right? We are all here to constantly improve. And in that context, we want to share this case study as a way to, you know, share like the fact that you can get great results if you increase your publishing velocity and publishing frequency, and the fact that, you know what, there are also some things that you need to pay attention to. Okay. If you made it thus far, I would like to thank you very much. And yeah, stay tuned for more Solos episodes, and not only Solos, but also our regular interviews with the great people that we have interviewed so far, and all the people that we will interview in the future. Thank you very much. Before you go, I'd like to give a quick shout out to the sponsor for this episode, Ahrefs. Ahrefs provides you with an all-in-one SEO toolset that does everything from rank tracking to backlink analysis, keyword research, and technical audits. The best part, you can now use Ahrefs Webmaster Tools for free to identify and prioritize optimization opportunities for your website, see all the keywords that your web pages are ranking for, take a close look at the websites that link back to and refer you in their content, and analyze other websites to find out what drives their rankings. Visit ahrefs.com/AWT and sign up for free.